54.
Y'all got into it on social media around that time. Is that just you being competitive, like when that happens, or is it like...
I just really don't like that dude.
Why though?
Cause I just don't like him. Like I really don't like him. That's like
just not your cup of tea. That's just not your.
I don't like nothing about him. I just feel like he just one of these little arrogant little dudes that's.
Terence Crawford and Gervonta Davis have never been the best of friends, but things reached a boiling point last month when the two boxing champions clashed on social media. The spat started with comments about the prestigious Ring Magazine Awards, but quickly escalated into something much more personal. Both men are at the top of their respective divisions, but their paths are unlikely to cross in the ring due to the size difference. That hasn't stopped them from throwing punches online, though. Crawford's dislike for Tank is rooted in much more than one social media exchange. He's been holding back his opinions for
undefeated. And what champ? Come on, man, tell me what belt. You know boxing. You forgot Devin Haney is undisputed. Devin Haney got all the belts. He the champ. Nobody else the champ. I'm gonna come up here where the big boys at. All right, I'll welcome him.
Even though he had his hands full with his upcoming fight, Gervonta Davis, known for his aggressive style and quick temper, wasn't going to let Crawford's remarks go unpunished. Davis is currently getting ready to defend his WBA lightweight title against Lamont Roach on March 1st, and he always seems ready for verbal sparring. Crawford, on the other hand, is getting ready for his highly anticipated showdown with Canelo Alvarez, which, if he wins, could cement Crawford's legacy.
I'm daring to be great.
You will fight him.
Man, tell him to come up there.
He got to come to win 54.
He said I got a glass chin. So tell him to come and touch it.
Wow, man. Gervonta said you got a glass.
When asked if the social media feud was just two competitive champions bumping heads, Terence Crawford recently gave a brutally honest assessment of Davis on Cigar Talk. The interviewer brought up Davis's habit of only moving up weight classes if he can pick and choose his opponents. Crawford stated unequivocally that this was a personal matter. I simply don't like that guy. I just don't like him like I really don't like him. I don't like anything about him, Crawford remarked. Crawford's tone made it clear that there was no room for misunderstanding and that he had no intention of toning down his emotions or providing any tactful responses.
I got a question for you, Tank. At 147, how does a fight with you and Terence Crawford look?
147? Shit, I tapped that chin. You know he going to sleep.
I already know. I already know he
ain't
is.
got no chance.
I already know he is.
You said no chance.
I got round 5.
Shit, I got round 6.
Crawford continued by characterizing Davis as a haughty little man who conceals his wealth and fame behind a large number of security guards and is aware that he is in the spotlight. Crawford clarified, but in some circumstances, he wouldn't be acting that way. It was a scathing comment that suggested Davis wouldn't have the same confidence if he didn't have an entourage watching out for him all the time. Crawford appeared to be scathingly criticizing the reputation Davis had developed over the years and accused him of exploiting his public persona as a shield.
Got to shield him. Like, he got a lot of security guards around him, and he know, he in the limelight and stuff like that, but in certain situations.
However, Crawford did not downplay his dislike for Davis's character. Talent. He is a skilled combatant. I admire him as a combative individual. Although the remark regarding Davis's boxing prowess was nearly suppressed, Crawford agreed that he undoubtedly possesses skills, power, and a great deal of boxing talent. But it didn't lessen his critical overall assessment. Naturally, Davis didn't remain mute in reaction to Crawford's remarks. Instead, he responded with a jab of his own, acting as though he were the greatest in the sport and still pleading with Canelo for a huge payout. Davis claimed it was a scathing remark that implied Crawford's pursuit of the Canelo battle for financial gain and approval. Davis's remark reinforced the widely held belief in boxing that even legendary fighters require a high-profile opponent like Canelo to genuinely establish their reputations. However, the animosity between Crawford and Davis didn't stop with those remarks. There has been more activity. Shakur Stevenson, although the 27-year-old rising star and Davis have not yet faced off in the ring, there's already a lot of talk about him being Davis's possible opponent in the future. Crawford, who is close to Stevenson, has stated unequivocally that he is on Stevenson's side.
Hey Shakur, like I was telling Bud, it's either you or Keyshawn's gonna get tanked, so because the walls are closing in. So awesome. It's gonna be him though. It makes sense. He's closer. Big brother first. Absolutely.
Crawford, who doesn't readily offer praise, stated that when talking about Davis's boxing prowess, he's undoubtedly talented and respected. But Shakur is a different fighter. He continued by explaining why he thinks Stevenson would defeat Davis. People may call him dull. They may say he can't punch. But they said the same thing about Floyd because they're defensive fighters. Crawford clarified that when comparing Stevenson's style to that of Floyd Mayweather, it speaks volumes given Mayweather's nearly flawless career and his mastery of defensive boxing. Felt the secret to reducing Davis's strength would be Stevenson's defensive arsenal.
Who have Shakur? What have Shakur done? What have he done in the sport? He haven't done nothing. The young one is looking more better than him.
Who that?
The Keyshawn. Keyshawn looking way more better than this. I keep screaming his name. He haven't done nothing. Keyshawn haven't even done nothing.
Tank cannot hit Shakur the way he hit everyone else. And he is aware that Crawford stated with confidence that it's a daring prediction, particularly considering Davis's reputation as one of the sport's most dangerous knockout artists. Davis thrives on overwhelming his opponents with explosive power, but Crawford seems certain that Stevenson's technical brilliance would frustrate him in the ring. Crawford's loyalty to Stevenson only heightens the tension in his feud with Davis. It's not just about boxing. It's about pride, loyalty, and making a point. If Davis and Stevenson do eventually square off, the build-up to that battle is certain to be as fierce as anything in recent boxing history. Davis, for his part, will probably view Crawford's remarks as just another challenge to his supremacy.
Him and Tank, when I see and I go read like little stuff about it, they really be debating. It don't be like, oh, Tank is gonna destroy this guy and everybody is saying it. No, that shit be like real debates. Like, no, this Shakur, this, that. And then not only that, now you see Shakur moving up in weight. He's filling out. He's dropping this dude.
The rivalry between Davis and Crawford is a complex web of professional rivalry and personal hostility. Crawford is truly appalled by Davis's character and mannerisms, and his accusations of conceit and bluster go beyond the typical trash talk. Conversely, Davis has little trouble responding with scathing criticism of his own artwork. This verbal battle is unlikely to end very soon since both men are too arrogant and competitive to give up, even if Crawford is starving for recognition. Despite his intense concentration on his impending title defense, Davis is likely closely monitoring Crawford's remarks, and despite the impending Canelo bout, Crawford doesn't appear interested in letting this feud go.
Has there been any talks with Tank's team?
They reached out, but we told them to come back with an offer. And as far as that, we ain't heard nothing since then. Me and him fighting each other, we'll seal the deal on the kings of that division.
It's unclear if Davis and Crawford will ever be in the same room again, but one thing is certain. This rivalry has already produced a lot of drama, and the boxing community will be eagerly observing to see what happens next. It's funny how Tank Gervonta Davis is eyeing a sizable payout from Saudi Arabia to fight Devin Haney Tank. His recent remarks regarding fighting in Saudi Arabia make it obvious that he's not just interested in boxing, but also in luxury status. Davis accused Terence Crawford of pursuing money with the Canelo fight. Ferraris, while Crawford proceeded to battle Canelo, and Riyadh is regarded as a test that defines Davis's legacy. seems more like a compromise for his own ideal buying binge. During a conversation on a safe location, Davis's readiness to engage in negotiations with Turkey's Al-Sheikh, the man who brought mega fights to Saudi Arabia, is already causing controversy. Podcast if Davis is going to fight Devin Haney. He has made it clear what he wants. The price must be extremely high on Saudi soil. They said I would fight Devin, and then they said that Davis had selected Devin. Davis clarified that they now need to pay me more because I already know what I'm going for, and his implication was loud and clear. If Haney is being promoted as the preferred son of Saudi boxing, Davis isn't going to enter the lion's den without obtaining a sizable insurance policy.
Want to see, obviously you and Tank, and that's something that I feel like has built up for years.
Yeah, I mean the fight has been built up for years, and at the end of the day, if he want the fight, he could have the fight because he's the WBA fake champion. He's not the, he's just the Mickey Mouse belt. So if
it's rare for a fighter to talk so candidly about concerns about biased judging, especially when huge paychecks are on the line. What's even more ironic is that not too long ago, Davis seemed uninterested in joining the wave of fighters profiting from the Saudi boxing boom. Davis's remarks also suggested his mistrust of how boxing decisions are made when big money and big names are involved. He practically accused Saudi organizers of stacking the deck in Haney's favor by saying, "If I don't knock."
Somebody asked Lomachenko.
Right. Turkey said he got your 2 Ferraris ready. What you think about that? Oh, Turkey said he got your 2 Ferraris ready. I need 3 now. Yeah.
Tank is performing a different song. His attitude and shift are nearly comical. He is mocking Crawford's choice to fight in Riyadh one moment, then threatening to demand a fancy automobile, and setting up his own journey to the desert Turkey the next. Al-Sheikh's approach of investing enormous quantities of money in boxing has already attracted some of the biggest names in sports. Canelo's contract is apparently significant enough to make anyone reevaluate their boxing future, and Fury and Usyk's 2 fight series brought them record salaries. Davis is obviously aware that the dollar signs are flashing, but he is presenting his interest as more of a demand for respect than a simple cash chase. But he is also drawing a distinction between earning the distinction between respect and profiting is becoming increasingly hazy in this situation, and Devin Haney's name just serves to fuel the flames.
If not, y'all gonna give it to him. So that's what made me like, oh yeah, I see what's going on. So now, give me 2 or 4 or 3 Ferraris. If not, ain't no point in me going over there for. Y'all got the money.
Tank's criticisms of the way fights are run in Saudi Arabia come across as both a warning shot and a negotiating tactic. He wants everyone to know that if the fight takes place, he's walking into hostile territory with his eyes wide open. Haney and Davis have been circling each other for years, and fans and analysts are eagerly awaiting the day they finally step into the ring together.
Turkey Al-Sheikh mapped out Shakur's next 3 fights, and the third one is Gervonta Davis. He must be sending not the 3 Ferraris that your boy wanted. He probably gonna send him a couple Ferrari mechanics so they can build him his own Ferrari factory.
He was being sarcastic, like he said, because Turkey was already with Devin. He was making it seem like he was fucking with.
Despite the bravado and posturing, Davis did throw a small bone of respect to Turkey Al-Sheikh. "I'm only grateful for the money he's put in," Davis said, but even that praise came with a caveat. He added that organizers need to be smarter and know more about the sport so that fights are fair. It's the kind of comment that will likely stir even more controversy. In a sport where money often dictates outcomes, Davis is essentially calling for transparency while simultaneously demanding.
I definitely don't want to be someone like Devin, you know what I mean? Talk all that trash and then overlook my opponent and then get knocked out.
Tank, Martin was really confident in this press conference today that not only is he going to secure a win, but that he's going to get a knockout. How much of that do you think is false confidence?
Then there's the matter of whether Davis truly thinks Haney is the front-runner in the Saudi organizers' perspective by referring to Haney as their chosen one. Davis might be laying the groundwork to deny any possible defeat before the bout even takes place. It's a traditional boxing tactic that undermines the credibility of your opponent's support network so that, win or lose, you emerge as a hero. But it's also a dangerous one because, should Davis fight Haney and Saudi Arabia and lose without the knockout, his words could come back to haunt him. For many years, the boxing world has served as a venue for contentious events. However, Davis's most recent remarks elevate the spectacle to a new level. He is negotiating for his story, not simply for a fight.
And I'm still a casual fan, so I'm being real. So hold on.
Yeah.
When you look at like Devin Haney's situation when he went to go sue Ryan Garcia,
Yeah,
like is
bitch.
that do you
Yeah, bitch.
Okay, cool. So okay.
When discussing Gervonta Davis's chances of defeating Shakur Stevenson or Kezin Davis, Crawford didn't mince words. He stated bluntly that Tank would suffer his first defeats if he faced either of them. This is a strong assertion, given Dance's perfect record and reputation for knockout power. But Crawford isn't just making this up. He's been in those trenches and has seen Kezin destroy Dennis Baraki for him. Dance knockouts won't be sufficient to defeat fighters with the mental toughness and strategic acumen of Shakur and Keane.
I want to fight Tank. Stop mentioning other people when I mention your fight. The f is you talking about, boy? Like, don't play with me, bro. Y'all know how I'm coming. Tank, if you wanna fight, send me a contract, bro. Tank, you know.
Kezin Davis sounded as audacious, even comparing a possible Tank battle to the vicious beating that Crawford inflicted on Errol Spence Jr. last year. That's not just assurance. It's a declaration of war. The kind of talk that puts genuine pressure on John to disprove Kashan is when Keane, who believes he is smarter and sharper both inside and outside the ring, asserts that Gervonta has nothing but that one-punch knockout power to rely on. Khan is certain that he is already a better fighter than what the world has seen from him thus far.
Is Keyshawn the one that can crack their Gervonta code?
Gervonta can be beat easily, man.
Ooh.
Yeah, we hear you say he could be beat easily. Why?
Yeah, he could be beat easily because he's just a basic type of dude with a lot of power. If you know boxing like I know boxing, you can take away that power from you and shit. You know what I'm saying, young fella?
Shakur Stevenson, who has been pursuing Tank for what seems like an eternity, is fed from the way he speaks. It's obvious that he doesn't believe Dant ever plans to enter the ring with him. Shakur doesn't hold back when he calls Dant a strange person and declares that he doesn't respect him if it doesn't serve as motivation for a future. What is the showdown? He also made it clear that Turkey would allow Schick to easily finance the battle. In other words, Shakur is openly challenging Devon to accept the arrangement, and he is aware of it.
I thought he was a tremendous talent. I still think he is. And I think he'll beat any lightweight with the possible exception of Keyshawn Davis.
That's a fight we probably will never see, huh?
Neither guy wants to fight.
However, everyone is watching to see how Gervonta does in his next test against Lamont Roach in Brooklyn on March 1st. As that bout may set the tone for the rest of the fight. If Tank steamrolls Roach, the pressure will increase for him to face one of the division's champions. And let's not forget that Vasyl Lomachenko is back in the mix. Last year, Loma was approached by Dance Team, but he was taking a break from boxing at the time. Now that L is back, it appears that he could be Dance's next target. Given L's slick skills and reputation as one of the best pound-for-pound fighters when he's at his peak, that fight alone would be a huge event.
I say 9th round.
What?
I say 9th round.
You said 9?
Yeah.
What's your response to that, Lamont?
Look, he got scared. Look, he looked at 9.
I'm telling him, you saying you going down in a 9? You know that power carry late.
There is more to Dance's desire for large sums of money, though, as he publicly discussed negotiating with Turki Alek to fight in Saudi Arabia and demanding at least 4 Ferraris before even considering a deal. While some may dismiss this as simply Tank being Tank, others see it as an indication of how the game is evolving. Dant is aware that he is playing hardball, but with so much money on the table, who's to say Turkey won't comply with his demands? Saudi Arabia's deep pockets are changing the balance of power in boxing. It's difficult to overlook the irony in all of this. Tank made fun of Terence Crawford a short while ago, saying that Crawford was after money, but now he's openly displaying his penchant for expensive cars and purses. This is a classic instance of pot calling the kettle black.
That age, I think he was like 17. I wasn't that much older than him. I think we probably like 3 years older, apart, but I feel as though he slowed down. All that partying and drinking and stuff slowed him down.
However, Crawford has already demonstrated his supremacy by defeating Spence to win the undisputed welterweight champion, as evidenced by all of his knockouts and pay-per-view victories. The lightweight class hasn't been unified by fame yet, but the fans are beginning to expect more than just one-punch finishes and talk. Legacy Battles Kezin Davis's remarks regarding Dant's opponents also struck a chord. He said that Tank has been meeting opponents who lack the mental toughness to compete with him for the whole 12 rounds. Whether this criticism is fair or not, it will remain in place until Devin shows that he can handle guys. Many naysayers would be silenced by fighters with elite skills, ring IQ, and the mental fortitude to face everything that comes their way, like Shakur Stevenson or even LMA. One of the biggest rising boxing stars, Shakur has been criticizing Jant for years without receiving a response. He has made it apparent that he lacks the financial means to send Tank an offer, but Turkey Alec does by placing the onus of accepting a fight in Saudi Arabia on Tank. Shakur's frustrations are understandable. In essence, Shakur is pressuring Dant to decide whether to step up or continue avoiding.
3 people in the world that I think that could beat Tank. That would be Devin, that would be Shakur, and Tank Davis himself.
You got the last one right. That's the only person that can beat me. Gervonta Davis. That's the only person. Them niggas cannot touch me at all. They all been in the ring with me. They all been in the ring, and I cracked both of them.
And if Tank continues to avoid him, the rumors that he avoids difficult fights will only get louder. One thing is certain, though, this lightweight division is heating up, and the next few months could define Jason's career. He has a lot of attention leading up to the Lamont Roach fight, and how he responds to that pressure will determine whether he wins in a dominant manner, sets the stage for a major struggle, or shows any signs of weakness. Additionally, fighters like Shakur and Kezin will be waiting to call him out. They want unification fights, and they want them now. With Saudi Arabia offering life-altering money, there is no reason why these fights shouldn't take place. It's unclear if Gervonta is willing to risk his perfect record for the kind of legacy that Usyk or Crawford Fury are creating. But it's obvious that time is running out for him to make his move. What else can we do but wait for the Lamont Roach fight? What do you think is true about Crawford's assessment of Tank's character and resume? Share your thoughts below and subscribe for more updates.